Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this technique. Today what I'm going to show you is how to make a background using the Tim Holtz framework lattice die. And the first thing I'm going to do is take that through my die cutting machine, and using white card I'm going to cut it out, and that's what it looks like. Now for this you're going to need the actual framework, and you're going to want the diamonds as well. So what I've done is I've taken this through my die cutting machine and I've die cut it 4 times. So that gives me 4 of the lattice shapes. Then what I've done is I've taken an ink pad and I've inked them in an ombre effect, and I just want to explain what I mean basically. So I've inked them. On this edge I've inked it with an olive ink pad. In the centre I've used a deep red, and on this edge I've used a brown. So I've blended it all in and created what looks like an ombre effect, and that way you can see the shading. So that's our white cardstock that I've cut 4 times, and now I'm just going to put them on a piece of wax paper and I'm going to make them into a larger size because I want to be able to use these on an A5 card. So I've just added a little bit of glue on the corners of the lattice. I'll show you that again just in case you didn't see it. And I'm going to build up our framework. So that is our first one, and just add that little bit there, press them down, and then I'm going to do the next one in exactly the same way, just adding a tiny little bit of glue on the end, and I'm going to get it the right way around. So we'll just put the tip over the last tip so it's kind of point to point, and I'm just going to hold it down for a minute because I want to be able to show you the full process here. So we're going to be using this. There isn't one I've made earlier or anything. So I'm doing this bit first so it's got a little bit of time to dry. So next I'm just going to add a little bit more glue to the last one. And I'm going to add that, just making sure you can see. Add that to the last section. So it's overlapping slightly, but you've still got all your diamonds in the middle. Okay, so I'm just going to set this to one side to dry while we go on to our next stage. So the next thing I've done is I've taken a piece of white card and I've inked the edges, and I've used the same ink pads that I used to ink the edges on the lattice, and I've only done the edges because that's all I'm going to need. Now the next thing I've done, I'm going to take some double-sided adhesive sheets. Now I'm going to literally put these on top, just lay it on, and I'm going to cut it to size. Now this is a good way of using up your scraps of your adhesive sheets because you can piece it all together, which I'm going to do. I have to keep making sure you can see in the camera because it's difficult to do everything and make sure you can see. And so I'm going to add the double-sided adhesive to the top of that side. I'm going to peel that away, and that should leave me the adhesive on that side, which it does. and then I'm going to piece it together at the other side, because you know we don't waste anything, and it is such a great technique is this. So I'm just going to fill that gap with a bit more adhesive sheet and trim that to size. And then, now I'm not using my best scissors here because obviously they're going to get adhesive on, so I'm just using my old scissors for this. And then a little bit more at this corner. Again, trim it off like that, and I'm just going to trim the edges around our base up like that, and a little bit more at this side. There we go, and I can just fold the rest under. Okay, so I'll just peel off the top of the adhesive we've got there, that we've just put on, and I've got a little bit for this edge. Oh, I haven't, it's gone a bit skewy there. Not to worry, we can add something else there. So any bits that you've got hanging over, either trim or just fold over the edge. So let's have a look. I made a little bit of a mess of that. We're not completely covered, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue there, and it'll go tacky by the time we need it. So that's our base, and the next thing we're going to do is add our lattice layer on top of our base. Now I'm going to measure it up so that it actually sits where the lattice is on the main section of our background, like that. So I'm just going to press it down so you can see now we've got lots of tacky diamonds waiting to be filled. So what I've done is I've taken my die cut of the lattice through the machine, and I've used lots of scrap paper, and I've got lots of diamonds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in each of the diamond sections with one of the lattice die cuts. I'm going to add them randomly, and I'm not going to worry about what colour is going to go where, for the simple reason that the papers that I've put through the machine are all the same colour family, so I know that they're all going to match. And I'm going to build up the background, just adding lots of the cuttings into the diamonds. Now this is going to take me a while. If you're wanting to switch off or just fast forward me, you know, you can do, but we're going to use this background on a project that's going to be coming up very soon, and I shall put a link to it so that you'll be able to see what I make with it and how I use the background. And it's just such a simple but effective method of using so many of your scraps to make something really pretty that literally will take 5 minutes just to put together, and then at the end of it you'll have something completely unique. I've got to admit, the next project that I want to do when I use this, I want to make a black and white one, because I think that'll look absolutely gorgeous with the checkerboard effect, and I think it'll really go well with a lot of things that I've got planned. And just while I'm thinking on, I do get a lot of comments about my nail varnish which is great, thank you very much. But I can never remember to tell you what colour it is, because I can never remember what colour I've got on. And you know, it's just one of those things. When I go to paint my nails, I just pick the one I like at that time, and that's the one I use. And another of the comments, actually, I've had a question from a lady, and she's asked me why I keep the adverts on the pages, you know, on the demonstrations. Well, the adverts are what actually pays me to keep going with the videos. It isn't a great deal, but for every watch I get, you know, I maybe get a couple of pence, and that sort of mounts up a little bit, and then hopefully over time it'll enable me to, you know, get new products and do different demonstrations showing you different things and new things, and just things that you might wonder how to use, what you can do with them, things like that. So that's why we have the adverts on. Okay, so this is building up really nicely now, and I'm using up all my checkerboards, and it's just adding such a great combination of colours. And I'm just going to keep going with it, because I know you want to see the finished item, which is great. And let's have a look. And I'm trying to be as random as I can with the colours, but I'm trying not to put two colours the same next to each other. So far so good. Okay. You have to comment and let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything you want to see, if there's anything that you think, you know, that you don't know how to use it, or you've had an idea, or something that maybe you've purchased and you can't get it working, or so anything like that. Just let me know in the comment section. You can always find me on Facebook at Anne-Marie V, and you can always message me on YouTube anyway, and there's the facility for you to leave the comments. I get back to all the comments and send a reply, normally within 24 hours. Obviously allow for the, you know, the time difference if you're not in the UK, and that way, you know, I can do my best to find out for you if there's anything you want to know, and do my best to bring you what it is you're looking for. Okay, so that's our background filled in. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to just carry on around the edge, and I'm going to fill in the extra bits that we've got. Now I could actually snip the little diamonds off, but I'd like to keep those because I think it just adds to the actual look of the design, and you know, it just adds a lot more interest by keeping them. So again, I'm looking for the random diamonds and just filling that up, and there we go, that's the last one. Now that, I think, is such a pretty background, and well worth you staying tuned, I think, and listening to me ramble on. So I'm going to use this for the next project that we make. I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I haven't bored you too much, and I shall see you again next time.